Have you ever been dismissed as too much, too weird, or too intense? You spoke up at family gatherings only to be ignored. Your ideas in meetings were brushed aside, while someone else claimed the glory. Friends smirked at your ambitions, reducing your dreams to a joke. But here's the truth. You were the rarest gemstone, buried deep, your brilliance overlooked. Now everything has changed. They see you and they can't look away. You already know it. The systems you trusted, the leaders you followed, the promises you believed in, they have all crumbled. Their carefully constructed facades are breaking apart, revealing the hollow cores beneath. They sold you security, but instead gave you control. They offered clarity, but left you stranded in confusion. Now the collective is awakening. A deep rumble of dissatisfaction grows louder by the day, shaking the foundations of everything once revered. This isn't just a shift, it's a reckoning. Across the world, people are questioning the institutions that shape their lives, governments, corporations, religions. The systems that claim to protect them have done nothing but exploit their fears. They've seen the falsehoods, truth buried under bureaucracy, healing replaced by profit, authenticity overshadowed by appearances. Those promises of a better tomorrow, broken. Left in their place is the searing realization that no savior is coming. No power above will fix the mess for them. You are not alone in this disillusionment. Families sit around their dinner tables, silently questioning the paths they've been forced to take. Workers in bustling offices exchange glances, knowing the grind was never for them. Communities once divided are now bonding over the shared betrayal of the systems that preyed on their trust. They were told to play by the rules, to work harder, to stay in line. But what good has it done? The game was rigged from the start. They ignored you when your voice carried warnings they didn't want to hear. They laughed at your insights, dismissed your passion, and turned their backs when you offered something different. But now, everything has shifted. The old friends who once scoffed at your dreams now reach out, their messages laced with hesitation. They fumble over words, apologizing for the dismissiveness they thought you'd forgotten. It's not just them. Strangers sense something in you, a pull they can't explain but feel compelled to follow. They ask for guidance, not knowing exactly what they're asking for. Society is starving for the very thing you refuse to compromise: truth. Everywhere the shallow masks crumble, exposing the hollow promises of surface-level connections and empty pursuits. People crave something real, and you bring it naturally. This isn't just about recognition. It's about the reckoning they face. Their rejection of you was never about your inadequacy. It was their fear of confronting the discomfort of growth. When they mocked your intensity, it was because it highlighted their apathy. When they called you too much, it was their way of shielding themselves from their own inadequacies. Now, the veil has lifted. They need the depth they once shunned, the wisdom they refused to accept. Their newfound respect might feel overdue, even insincere. Yet, it's a testament to the strength of your voice. What was once ignored is now vital. What was once ridiculed is now revered. They see you differently because they can no longer afford not to. Drop the comment below, "My truth is undeniable," to declare your unwavering strength and show the world why your voice matters. The world is calling for you, and it's unmistakable. Look around. Spiritual knowledge, once ignored, is now in demand. People are desperate for authenticity, for depth, for something real to fill the void left by false promises and empty systems. They are seeking healing, mentorship, and guidance with a hunger that can no longer be denied. And in their search, their eyes are turning to you, because what you have cannot be manufactured. Think of Moses, who was initially dismissed and doubted even by his own people. When he returned to lead them out of Egypt, their desperation turned them toward the guidance they once resisted. Like Moses, your wisdom has been overlooked by those around you, but now they return, yearning for direction. This isn't coincidence, it's a pattern. Society is waking up, restless and disillusioned. The masks of performative success are slipping. People are done with superficiality. They crave substance. They no longer want leaders who pander or guides who conform. They are searching for those who live in alignment, who carry wisdom not from textbooks or trends, but from experience, resilience, and truth. That is why the world is calling for you. Even Christ, when speaking to the crowd, said, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few." This calling isn't about ego or applause. It's about a deep and divine purpose. Those who reach out to you aren't coming for convenience. They're coming because their souls are tired of the falsehoods they've consumed. They see in you a reflection of what they need: depth, courage, and authenticity. Like the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece, whose words guided nations, your authenticity resonates as truth. You don't have to chase this role. It has already found you. The world's hunger for truth has made your wisdom a necessity. They are searching, grasping, desperate for what you naturally bring. Their need is urgent, their pull relentless, because they know now what you offer cannot be replicated, and it cannot be ignored. You were built for this moment, and the world is finally ready to see it. They acknowledge you now because they have no other choice. The world around them is crumbling. Systems they trusted, beliefs they clung to, the false promises that kept them comfortable. Everything they thought was unshakable is breaking apart, and in the chaos they've turned to you, not out of generosity, not out of sudden revelation, but because your reality is the only thing that still stands when everything else falls away. Divine timing has always been in play, aligning perfectly for this moment. The world had to mature, to break open, for them to even begin to recognize your value. Before, they couldn't see you because they weren't ready. You were the seed planted in barren soil, invisible for seasons, growing silently in the dark. Now you've become the tree, unshakable, with roots that reach deep and branches that offer shelter they desperately need. Their acknowledgement comes not as a favor but as necessity. Their old systems no longer hold. Their shallow beliefs and hollow idols have failed them. They've seen the cracks, the ones you always pointed out, and now they're left scrambling for truth, for something that doesn't dissolve under pressure. You are that truth. Your presence is their lifeline, not because you've changed, but because they've finally realized what they ignored all along. Your gifts, once too much for their comfort, are now their salvation. Your voice, once silenced, now rings clear above the noise. They seek you because you're real, because the authenticity they once dismissed now holds the clarity they're starving for. It's not about you fitting into their mold anymore. It's about them breaking apart to understand yours. They don't just want guidance, they need it, and they know you're the only one who can provide it without pretense or dilution. You feel it everywhere. Strangers linger near you, drawn to something they can't articulate but can't ignore. Old acquaintances return with apologies, their voices softened by the weight of regret. They come not to praise but to seek, hoping you'll share a fraction of the strength that carried you through the storms they avoided. Your depth, your resilience, your unwavering truth. They crave it now because they've run out of places to hide from themselves. And still, their need doesn't define you. Their recognition doesn't create your value. You've been this all along, the seed, the tree, the unyielding reality they couldn't grasp until their illusions shattered. You don't owe them anything, yet you are exactly what they need. Their acknowledgement is not your triumph, it's the inevitable result of their awakening. You are the constant in their chaos, and they finally see it. Warning, this is not for muggles. Oh, so you're still here. Guess that means you're not just another NPC wandering the Matrix, huh? Let's be real. This isn't your self-help for normies retreat. The Obsidian Inner Order is where the truly chosen gather, sharpening their minds, manifesting their power, and leaving the beige existence of the mundane far behind. It's Hogwarts for the badasses who don't need a sorting hat to tell them they're elite. We've got weekly group calls where chosen ones dissect the Matrix playbook. A Star Chamber Discord packed with warriors of light, not wannabe influencers. And the content? Too raw, too real for YouTube's fragile servers. Our latest exclusive, The Universe is Your ATM Machine, shows you how to systematically dismantle every abundance block the Archons planted. Spoiler alert, they want you broke because they fear your rise. But listen closely, we're not running a charity for the curious. If you want in, you better act now. The door is closing and we're not holding it for the indecisive. Hit the link to join the Obsidian Inner Order in the description, or stay with the Muggles and let us know how that works out for you. The shift means one thing: it's time for you to lead. The acknowledgement you're receiving isn't about applause or ego, it's a signal that you are ready to step into the role you've been prepared for all along. Validation isn't your destination, it's the confirmation of what you've always known. Your grounded nature, forged in rejection and strengthened in solitude, must remain your foundation. Don't let their recognition alter the essence of who you are. Stay rooted, stay clear, and stay true to yourself. Leadership is no longer optional. The world's eyes are on you, not because they're curious, but because they need direction. You've proven your strength through fire and come out unbreakable. People are drawn to your authenticity because it is rare, and it offers a clarity they cannot find elsewhere. But leadership is not about control or dominance. It's about guiding with purpose, holding space for others to grow, and knowing when to give and when to preserve your own energy. This role demands discernment. Not everyone who approaches you is ready for what you offer. Some will come seeking quick fixes or validation, and others will bring only their desperation. Your responsibility is to share your gifts wisely, not to drain yourself trying to save those unwilling to take the steps themselves. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is essential. Your strength is a resource, and it must be stewarded with care. You don't need to shout or prove anything. Leadership speaks through presence. You shift the energy of a space not by what you say, but by who you are. This shift is proof that your authenticity is now indispensable. The world is calling for truth, and you embody it. It's no longer about being seen. It's about stepping fully into the power you've always carried. They look to you because you are steady in the storm, a guide they can trust when everything else falls apart. This is your time. Lead with humility, but with unshakable confidence. Guide those who seek your light, but never at the cost of your own fire. This shift is not a gift, it's a responsibility. You've earned it, and now you must own it. Step into your role boldly. The world doesn't just need you, it's waiting for you. Comment below, "I am the chosen guide," to affirm your role as a steady force in the storm, and ensure that you hit subscribe to continue receiving these divine transmissions from yours truly on Astral Atom. You must protect what you've built. As more people are drawn to you, their need will grow, but your energy is not infinite. Boundaries are not just necessary, they are non-negotiable. Stay grounded in the humility that kept you steady through rejection, but wear your confidence unapologetically. The world is reaching for your gifts, but you must decide when to give and when to reserve your strength. Not everyone who seeks your help is prepared to receive it. Discernment is your armor. Know who truly values your guidance and who is only seeking a quick fix at your expense. You are not here to save everyone, and trying to do so will only deplete the fire you've worked so hard to cultivate. Share your wisdom, but do so intentionally, ensuring it aligns with your purpose. Your humility is a reflection of your strength, not a sign of weakness. Confidence without arrogance is your power, a force that cannot be shaken by validation or rejection. Protect your energy, guard your gifts, and lead with purpose. This isn't about giving endlessly, it's about giving wisely. Your light is transformative, but only when shared with those ready to honor it. Rejection was never your failure, it was your forge. Every time the door slammed in your face, every time your voice was silenced, every time they turned away, it was shaping you. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. The fire they thought would destroy you was the same fire that strengthened your spirit, refined your gifts, and made you unbreakable. Like gold purified by flame, you emerged stronger, sharper, and undeniable. Your struggles weren't wasted. They taught you what ease never could. Rejection forced you to face yourself, to learn who you were without applause, without validation, without the comfort of belonging. It carved out space for discernment, an ability to see who is worthy of your energy and who is not. You now know how to set boundaries, not as walls of bitterness, but as shields of self-respect. Their dismissal didn't weaken you. It built the foundation for the strength you carry today. You didn't just survive, you grew. The isolation that came with being misunderstood gave you time to cultivate what others neglected in themselves. While they were chasing approval, you were deepening your roots. While they stayed comfortable, you learned to thrive in discomfort. Rejection didn't make you less, it made you more. It forced you to strip away pretense and face your raw truth, because when no one else could see your value, you had to. Now the same traits they mocked are the ones they need. Your resilience, born of their rejection, is the anchor they lack in the storm of uncertainty. Your authenticity, once dismissed as too much, is the clarity they now crave. What they didn't understand then, they're desperate for now. But let's be clear, your worth was never tied to their recognition. Their inability to see your value was a reflection of their limits, not yours. This moment, this shift, was always coming. You needed the rejection to grow into the leader, the healer, the force you are today. Without it, you wouldn't have developed the strength to stand, the wisdom to discern, or the courage to hold your ground. Reassure yourself of this truth. Every struggle, every dismissal, every painful moment was part of a divine plan. It wasn't random, it wasn't meaningless, it was preparing you for now. But with this growth comes responsibility. You've been purified by fire, and now you carry the weight of what you've earned. You must use discernment, because not everyone who approaches deserves your energy. Boundaries are not just for protection, they're for preservation. Share your gifts, but do so wisely. Give, but never at the cost of your own foundation. They may come to you seeking light, but you are not their fuel, you are their guide. Your struggles were never in vain. They were the tools that shaped you, the lessons that taught you, the fire that tempered you. And now, as they turn to you, searching for what you've built in silence, you can stand tall, knowing that every rejection, every pain, every lonely moment had a purpose. You've emerged unbreakable. This is your moment, not because they finally see you, but because you've become everything they couldn't ignore. The fire didn't consume you, it transformed you. You were made for this. They used to dismiss you, casting your voice aside as if it held no weight. They turned their backs, blind to the value you carried, deaf to the truth you spoke. But look at where you stand now. They can't move forward without you. The very qualities they rejected are the ones they now seek. You are no longer the hidden gem, buried beneath their indifference. Your light is undeniable, and they know it's something they need to survive. You've transformed rejection into power, silence into a roar, and solitude into an unshakable foundation. You're not just seen now, you're needed. They realize you hold what they lack: clarity, resilience, and authenticity. They might have ignored you then, but now their future depends on what you offer. This is not about their recognition, it's about your ascension. You've become indispensable, and no one can take that from you. Step boldly into this chapter. Don't wait for permission or validation. You are already enough. The world is not just ready for you, it is desperate for your leadership. This is your moment to rise, not as a response to them, but as a testament to the power you've built within. Share your story. Let the world hear how you turned rejection into strength, how you took the fire and made it fuel. Your truth will not just inspire, it will ignite. Now is your time to lead.